Hey, good morning and welcome to Friday. Oh God, TGIF again. It just seems like it was yesterday when we were talking Friday last week. Shortened week goes by really, really fast. Hey, I've got my coffee here on this nice September day. It's very brisk and cool out. Actually, I have long pants on for a change. Oh yeah, I wear shorts all the time. Shorts and flip-flops and cut off sleeve shirts. That's my daily attire in the summer. But um, I've got actually a shirt with sleeves and I've got some sweatpants on. Still have my flip-flops though, but still. But I got my coffee. Always tastes good. Anyways, hey, what did you guys think of the markets yesterday? Very, very interesting day when you look at it. And oh, a couple things here I want to talk to you about. And you know, we have the what's referred to as the index roll. And also, I have my Nasdaq calendar up here. I want to show, but there's, you know, I was looking into the index roll yesterday, and yesterday afternoon when we saw the S&P just flush. I mean, it just it was making a comeback and was looking like it was going to turn into a pretty solid day after I was talking about yesterday in my pre-market prep video about shorting the market. And next thing you know, here comes a flush, and the market's just tanked. I was up on a few of my trades, my bullish trades. I added a few other bullish trades. I did not put a short or a hedge on the market yesterday. Like I said yesterday, my hedges typically haven't worked out, but still potentially could be a good place to hedge or put a short on. But in this market, God, you just don't know. So, the index roll is a real thing, and it started yesterday and goes through till September 17th, where these large funds and stuff, they have to roll their contracts, and so so we just get these flushes in the market for on no news. And so it's a real thing. It happens every 3 months, and so but what we had set up here yesterday was a Pitbull low, and Pitbull low being that Wednesday was down, Thursday's down. So typically we might see a rally on Friday, and so far that looks to be what we may have setting up here today. But with that being said, let's get into our housekeeping here. Uh, you know, I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I give financial advice. Um, I don't send out trade alerts. I trade my own money. I lose my own money. I can win some money, and uh, look for your entries and look for your support and resistance lines and trade your trades. Don't be a sheep and follow people blindlessly into a trade. So you have to have a setup. These videos are part of my trade journal. They're part of my trade journey. Um, I'm an older trader, so I am rather risk adverse, and I don't like losing money. Matter of fact, I don't really know anybody that does, but it happens because stocks and options have risk, and they're not necessarily suitable for every investor. And if you need to paper trade, you paper trade. You do what you need to do to become comfortable with your setup, things like that. Um, these videos help me to be able to add the link to my trade journal. And so Fridays are a big day for me, as far as Mondays and Fridays. Mondays are the days that I set up the week. Fridays are the day that I kind of close down the week. But money Mondays and Fridays, I just don't want to lose money and turn a losing week into a worse losing week, or have a winning week turn into a losing week. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this morning's pre-market prep. yes, or tomorrow we have the 20th year anniversary of the 9/11 attack. I remember 20 years ago exactly where I was. I was in my shop in my trophy business and an engraving business. And I remember coming in that morning and hearing on the radio about the first tower got hit, getting into work, going into my office, turning on the TV, and just sat there watching the TV. I was playing the stock markets. I was dealing with a broker actually in, the district right there by the trade centers. And that's how I traded stocks back then. As brokers would call me, and say, hey, I've got this hot tip, and here's a stock. I can't even remember the ticker symbol. Don't even remember what the stock is. Hell, for all I know, it could have been Amazon, maybe. No, it wasn't Amazon, but it was something that I got into. I remember, invested a couple $1,000s into it about 3 days prior to the attacks. And then the next thing you know, the attacks happened and the markets shut down. They shut down for about a week. And it's kind of like a halt, when your stock gets halted. And a lot of times when it comes out of the halt, it drops. And that's exactly what the stock market did that day when it opened back up. I lost about 50% of the value of what I invested in. I was watching CNBC, watched the tickers, got the Wall Street Journal, would look at the tickers and find, my stock, and I was just like sick to my stomach. And I remember the wife getting upset with me because we were losing money, and she doesn't. She's my ex-wife now, if you need to know, but she doesn't. At that time, she didn't think this was a good idea. Her process was go out and get a job, make 40-hour a week, just above broke, um, and and just live your life. And that's not me. That wasn't me. I'm a risk taker. I liked, I was young and I owned a business and had 2 stores, and I'd always been self-employed and making my own money, and that's what I really really enjoyed. But so she put the pressure on me, and I called my broker, and I remember asking him that I need to close out my account, and he literally chewed my ass, called me un-American. He says, in order for this country to bounce back, you need to stay invested. This is the future of America, and the heart of America just got hit. The heart of our financial district got just decimated, and he made me feel, a, a very small person, and consequently my little bit of money wasn't going to make any difference one way or the other in the market. But as a collective group of people, a collective group of people can move the markets. Just as one humongous investor can move a stock, or a collective group of hedge funds and big investors can move the market. So there you go. There's my 9/11 testimony there to you here this morning. So let's go ahead and let's get into our charts here and make this rather quick. But, as I'm not telling you anything you haven't heard already from me, but, the market is extremely bullish. And even though we've had a little bit of a pullback, the pullback hasn't been astronomically huge. Now, when you look at it on the daily chart, it does look a little larger than maybe what you might think. But from this high to the low, it's about 2.13%. And on the daily chart over the since last Friday. And so, but we're getting kind of a bounce. Our indicator here, we are getting to the mid-level here. So this is about where, the Dow has gotten support and has found support. We've gotten down just below the daily 50, and we're rising back up. Looks very similar to this one here, and it looks very similar here. So, except that we had a hammer candle here. We didn't have it here, but we, rallied back up, set a new high. So is this the move that we're looking going into a new high? I don't know. Could be, and it may not be. And then we have the VIX, and the VIX has been kind of on a tear. I put in these three lines yesterday because I was looking at the VIX yesterday, and I really see that there's three levels that's for the most part of this year have been holding true. So this 16 line, the VIX comes down, it touches the 16, or just breaks just below the 16, and then we get a spike in volatility. Comes back down, we kiss the 16, we get a spike in volatility. We are currently back down below. Last night we got up, or yesterday we got up almost about 19 and 19.5, and we've gapped down here this morning. We're at 1762 here this morning. But so the volatility has come back down below this 18. This between the 18 and 16, if we get volatility down, down in this range here. So, if you're wanting to play the S&Ps, you get close to this 16, you might want to be kind of flipping your thinking a little bit, and we start to get a little bit of a bounce. But again, we get up towards this 20 line or higher, then this is where you might be placing a bet, like on the number one horse to win kind of example. Like, so hey, just something to think about there. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at the Russell. The Russell yesterday, I was talking about the Russell as a potential, probably my number one hedge or my number one short candidate. Long term is in this really tight kind of box area here on the weekly chart. We have been since March, and we are approaching the top zone of that. And I was, expecting, the Russell to kind of come back down, and that's exactly what it's done. It's come back down to, and it's kissing the 21, but this chart, because we put in this double bottom, is a very bullish pattern here, and we bounced and we got above the 21, and so we've been picking up momentum. We do have an indicator, sell indicator, but here we could possibly get down here where it looks like it's leveling off. And so, which direction we go, it's anybody's game at this point in time. It's really a coin toss move. What do you think it's going to do? Right now, I would not put a short on or a hedge on the Russell right now, and I wouldn't bet on it to go in either direction. So possibly puts credit spread, and picking an area down here, taking short term, and just figuring, put on a small trade, and uh, maybe a zero DTE trade today, and it might be a good bet, and just keep it small and either kiss the money goodbye or take a full profit, whichever the case may be. So let's go ahead and jump into the S&Ps. We're talking about the VIX, and so the S&Ps. This was let me zoom in here a little bit more so we can see this chart here, and zoom in on our weekly chart also. But very, very bullish. But we've got some key levels here. Let me get rid of this red line here, and but we've got some key levels: 44.33, we got 44.76, and we got 45.10, or roughly we'll just call 45. But these are some key levels here that we're looking at, and we're at the 4,500, which is really a key level that I'm looking at, the S&Ps to kind of hold. We come down and we kissed the 44.76, and then we kissed it here this morning or last night, in the futures, and but we are getting a little bit of a bounce up. We're up 17 and a half points here this morning. VIX is, like I said, running a little low, but it's under 18. We could see a drop in the VIX push, allowing this to go higher. I added my Bollinger Bands here yesterday. They're the light blue. I don't know what you call that, magenta or whatever, but anyways, to me it's light blue, and so I added those to the chart so that way I can see how this correlates if the Bollinger Bands are either opening up or constricting. And right now they're kind of flat. So um, and so that might mean price action anywhere's between the 21 and the 1 ATR possibly. So like to see it get above the 45 100 to 45.10 area and hold that level of support. Going into the weekend would be a good play, with the hopes that we'll see a continuation, that potentially this was the pullback we needed to see. But we do have that S&P roll taking place right now on the indexes. So we'll talk about that here before I close this out. And then we have the Qs. The Qs are extremely bullish long term. It's the Qs really use this 1 ATR right here as support. If you look here, it's held support there. It's kind of found support on it right along here. It did break down here back in August, and then we bounced back above it, but it has consistently held this 1 ATR line as support. Does break below it from time to time, but it looks like we kissed it on Wednesday. We kissed it yesterday and today. Now we're getting that bounce that we were that I was kind of looking at yesterday. The Pitbull low that we had here. So getting that bounce, and that we might like to see here. Again, keeping the eyes on the Teslas of the world. The Tesla, is behaving strong. I'm still wanting to see a pullback to the 730 area. I'd like to see a pullback here, so I can jump back in. But we've done well with Tesla. Amazon, saw a pretty good sized gain yesterday, but we're seeing a pullback. We saw a pullback in it after hitting this resistance line. This is a tough line to get over. This 35.44. It's kissed it here, kissed it. So I'd like to see. We've got a sell signal on the daily chart now. So the Amazon needs to rest a little bit, and our Bollinger Bands are leveling off here. So we may like to see this come back, pull back to the 21, develop a squeeze, because they made this move without any squeeze or anything happening. Amazon's just a beast, but we'd like to see some coiling of the price action to build up some energy to make the pop back up here to the highs. So keep an eye on that. And the Facebooks of the world and others, keep an eye on the FANG stocks and the Facebooks, the Netflix and the Apples, along with Google. They where they go, the Qs go, and also the S&P. So they're a pretty important part of this market. Let me show you here. I talked to you about the index roll dates, and if we look here for 2021, we have the month September. Okay, right here, the roll date started 9/17 is the expiration date. Okay, and with the roll date of 9/9, which was yesterday. So they have till the 17th to get these rolls. So we're liable to see some drop in this. We're liable to see some drops, in the S&P for news related. But again, I know I'm going to be probably very, very cautious with my SPX trades just because of this. And, um, and not taking any short-term longs, because I don't want to be shaken out, setting myself up for a loss. So this is something I'll be looking at. And also, I have the trading calendar for 2021, the Nasdaq trading calendar. Kind of gives you, important dates that you might want to know. Now, obviously, if you have, TD Ameritrade, or you have in your, they do have a calendar also that has important dates, earnings, or what stocks have earnings on that day. So this is, I use this also on my calendar, but I just wanted to kind of show you these two pages here, and I will put the link to the equity index roll dates, so you can take a look at that. It's just, uh, it's just a particular point in time that you don't, where, it takes place every 3 months. So the next one after this one will be December 9th through the 17th. So that might be a time. And then we've got, March 10th through March 18th of next year, and so on and so forth. So just some important dates, to look at. That link will be in the description of the video here. So with that being said, guys, it's Friday. Have a great Friday. And, just be careful, trade your own money, click the like button, subscribe, and we'll be back on Monday with another video. See you guys.